Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. This is Talk Beauty and Fashion with Olay, and I hope you guys are having fun today. I don't know, I have a couple of things to say today because a few times back I went for my like a procedure on my face. I went for this PDO thread lift, and they call it like the lunchtime procedure. Like I just go to over your lunch, and that is it. So let me get my book behind. So okay, let me get my book behind. So I'm going to be showing you guys, or let me say I'm going to be reading it to you. I'm going to be like, because I've jotted some few points down that is very important. You can see me on my pencil. We are like 5 and 6 because I don't want you guys to make the mistake I did. So when I wanted to go for my procedure, I actually had it in one of this aesthetics place around me. I feel like you should do your research very well. Don't just jump into it. Don't just say, let me go have this done, and you're not sure. So the PDO nose thread lift, I wrote some things down. Have you ever thought of the lunchtime PDO nose thread lift? Okay, so have you thought about it? Have you been like, this PDO thread lift people are talking about, like, let me just go try it. Maybe probably you have this nose or a crooked nose and you feel like you want to straighten it, or you have this kind of flat nose and you feel like you want it more pronounced, probably a makeup artist. Because in my case, I'm into beauty. I'm so sorry guys. So as I was talking it through with you guys, I had like um a little disturbance. So okay, like I was saying, rhinoplasty is a very invasive surgery, and it's not something you should jump right into. You have to consider the pros and the cons of these surgeries. You can't just say I want to do this surgery and go on with it, so that you won't regret it. So you could go for an invasive surgery, and you can also consider PDO thread lift. So in my case, I considered PDO thread lift, and I went for it. At first, I went for consultation in a good let's say in a standard organization. Like I feel like the person has done a lot of procedures in Nigeria, but I just look at it like, am I sure this is the person I really want to do it with? And I feel like the person is just very, 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 very high, very, very expensive, and for no reason. So I said, okay, let me go with a very much affordable and person to have done a lot of procedures. So I went there. So before I start with my story about how my PDO thread lift went, just stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please just click on the subscribe button down there, because you won't want to miss any beauty tips I have for you. Imagine this PDO training. Before you do it, you are at least watching this, and this is going to save a lot of people's asses out there. So pros, it give you an instant lift. Immediately when you do it, you see a lift on your nose, you'll be like, wow, so does my nose be pointed? I'm a bad bitch. But let's continue with the pros. There's quick recovery time, that is after that day. So far everything is okay. So far you don't have any problem with your nose or your procedure. You can as well just go home, and there's no downtime. The next day when you take your pain relievers very well, you feel okay. At least you feel light and all that. But is it really quick? Is the recovery really quick? Let's continue. So it really lift uses dissolvable structures under the skin. They said it's extremely safe. Lasting results is like between 12 months to 18 months. It's non-surgical and it's cheap. Okay, so we have the cons. They can, and okay, you can see the pros I said, right? You feel like it's short. Okay, let's look at the cons. They are visible. You can have visible structures after it. It can be an extrusion. It can be infections. Threads are hard to reverse. Barbed or smooth. There can be necrosis of the skin. There can be hematoma, that is the swelling due to not a lot of circulation of blood vessels or damage of blood vessels. There could be scarring. There could be extreme pain due to improper placement. So let me talk about mine. Let me stop at that and talk about my own procedure. Okay, I had it done. So I went there. I had it done. I paid. It was a don't get me wrong. Let's say this procedure was like, let's say between 300 to 400k. Depends on if you are using Botox to kind of slim your nose lines and all that. So, there are also nose fillers, right? And those ones have serious disadvantages. And when I was talking to my esthetician, she was like, nose filler won't be great for me because it's my result into blindness, like a lot of things. So I just like, oh, blindness, get what? I just opted out for that. I was like, let's go with the PDO trail lift. I had a flat nose, but I still have a very straight looking nose, I guess. So when I went there after doing it, I got home. There was a plaster on the tip of the nose. If you check this nose, you see that there's you won't see the scar because I have makeup on, but I'm going to be showing you some pictures after this video or in between this video to see what I was talking about. So then I did it. I went. So sorry, guys. So as I was saying, like, you know, as I was saying, so I did it. So I went home. I was like, okay, I have to rest. I rested, and guess what? If you do this stuff, hope you know that for at least throughout the night you're going to sleep. You're not supposed to sleep with your side or with your face down. You're supposed to sleep this way, like your face up, and that would be very, very inconveniencing to a lot of people. I'm so sure about that. A lot of people will be very, very inconvenient with, excuse me, with your face going looking up throughout sleeping. Me, I don't sleep in my back, so I feel like it was very inconveniencing for me. Really, that's the truth. Then after that, you have to be careful. You can't wash your full face. You can't apply your toner. You can't use your face cream. You have to just go, like, I mean, nothing must touch the surface. You have to still cover it for at least 3 days. It has to be perfectly dry before you can. Like in my own case, let's just put that aside. That's even if it works for you. In my own case, it didn't work. It didn't work, right? Yeah. So in my own case, immediately after the day, I noticed like a round bump around my nose, and that was like it was looking like there was water in the bump and all that. So I had to go back to my esthetician. When I got there, no, I couldn't go back to her because there was she said they had a break. Yeah. So like 3 days break. I had to wait. Just imagine the kind of pain I went through because I had to wait for her to come back. So after the 3 days, he called me that she was around. I had extrusion, thread extrusion. That is, the thread was not in. There was a poke. It was poking out. So it was poking out and it was looking horrible. I was feeling bad. I was having pains around my nose area. It was swollen. It was red. I had to go back after the 3 days. It was supposed to be immediate, but my sister shared that, you know how these Nigerian people do. They don't handle things seriously. So when I got there, she was like, oh, she's so sorry. She traveled to Abuja, blah, 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 blah. Then, okay, started again. She had to. I heard something then that if you have extrusion or your thread went bad, you have to, you have to remove it totally. But I feel like I'll go through a lot of pain. So she just gave me the idea, okay, let's just numb you again and let's just cut it low, like that below. I was like, okay, no problem. If that's going to work, that was my second time being on that table. You get, like, if that's going to work, okay, let's do it. And she just had it back, and I went home. She put the plaster. She placed me on antibiotics so that I won't have infection. I'm a kind of person. I'm very, very um I'm very, very consistent with my vitamin C. Like, I take my vitamins every day. I don't leave it. So vitamin C also have to prevent infections, right? So I feel like those 3 days I was actually on my vitamin C, and it really helped me because when I got there, she now later placed me on antibiotics. So I went to get the antibiotics. I used it for like, let's say, 7 days. I was on it. Do you know that after using it, I checked the part of the night. I just felt like that was like after another 1 week. Like you see, I've been there for like 2 weeks now. So I felt like, okay, what is wrong with me? Then I checked it again. Do you know that the thread still extruded? I felt really bad. But what my friend did ask at the same time I did, so she was okay. She was already back to work. Everything was fine with her, but I have to keep going to an station. Like, what the heck is that? What the heck is that? Like, I was so angry. At the second, I cried. Guys, I cried. I really cried when I found out again that I had to go to that table, because that was the second time I'm finding out. That means I'm going for the third time to stay on that table. So I called her. She was like, or is it like my body is rejecting it? And there's something like your body can reject it. I mean, your skin, if your skin is not properly it's not well, like, how will I say it? The skin is not well blended, or you don't have a great skin. I feel like the extrusion is one of the things that could also happen to you. So she was like, okay, let's come back. So I went back to her. She said this is the last time she's going to barb it for me. And after that time, she's going to use her radio. There's something you can use to melt the structures to the and the threads. You can also melt with like radioactive it or whatever it is, that she's going to use that around it, and she's not going to melt it totally, but she's going to use it on the tip so that it won't extrude anymore, so it will be clogged. So she did that, and I went home. I was like, oh, if this thing happens again, I'm going to go to another esthetician and get it removed. You get, like, I'm going to totally get it removed. I'm not going to stress myself over this. And that was it. So when I got there, she did that stuff, blah blah blah. Then I came back home. I was so tired and weary already. Imagine that position you'll be when you've done something over and over and it's not working for you, and you really wanted it because you're a makeup artist and you feel like you want to do your makeup tutorials and you want to keep doing stuff. So you know, just realize how I'm feeling. Then that was it, and I came back home. You know, I waited for like 2 days. I found out like nothing was extruding. I was like, what? Really? So it has to take 3 good times. And I feel like the esthetician does not know, like, she wasn't too experienced, or she just claimed she was experienced online. She wasn't too experienced. Probably she does not know how to really deal with different shapes of nose and all that. So I feel like anytime you want to get a procedure done, just be careful. Like, if you're checking people online, make sure that they are professionals, or make sure that you've really searched for somebody and you've gone for consultation. You are sure and sure of this person. Don't just go and put your life in in the hands of people, because you can, if I'm already saying the cons I read to you guys, like the cons, it can actually cause skin necrosis. Like, it can actually go that far. If you don't know what skin necrosis means, it means the death of the skin. So if his skin is actually dead, that means the surrounding area can actually keep dying, and they will have to take all those skins around that place out, and look at what you'll be left with. So are you going to now remove from another part of the body and join to the place that were, gosh, don't let me even think about that. Like, it was that crazy. So I want to beg you guys, if you're ever thinking about PDO thread lifts for your nose or whatever, what's not, please be careful. Don't just go out there and pick anybody and go for color and just lay down there. You have to be very careful. And the conclusion is that this thing they are saying is 100% safe, or 99.9%. If you go somewhere and they tell you it's 99.9%, just run away. Probably the person is not a professional, or she does not know the pros and cons. I would say it's 30%, because it can actually cause some kind of complications for you. So why say it's 99.9% when it can also be 30%? Imagine this, the stress I had to go through. I'm going to actually put some pictures after this video so that you see how it was looking, how terrible and how bad. I still kept those pictures because I feel like I'm going to come on here, since we're all about beauty and fashion, I'm going to come on here and tell you in one of my beauty episodes. So it's so crazy. So it's not safe for all. People can't just come out there and say something is safe for all. People have different kind of blood, different kind of body, different kind of skin. Don't compare yourself with anybody. That's what I'm going to say. It's not safe for all. Do your research well before involving yourself and your nose. Do your research well. Really do your research well. I will keep saying do your research well. Don't just go and lay down on anybody's table. Be careful. You might be left with a scar. That's just it. 3 times revision for me, because I have to go back to it. So you might be left with a scar. Just keep that in mind, because I have one to show for it, and I'm going to put all the pictures at the end of this video, it was not really worth it for me. I don't know if your own result that you're looking, even the results was not really all worth it for me, because I don't know the results you are looking for. But I feel like if you want a drastic change in that shape, you have to get a professional, like someone very professional, and I tell you that. So guys, that's that about today's episode of beauty, and that's that about PDO Threadless. And I know that if you have any questions and you're in Nigeria, or you also ask me about this procedure or where I got my done, or the person I feel like is the best, because I've actually done a lot of research after when I had issues. I had to do a lot of research to actually know the best and the person that can do it the best for me. So if you have any questions, just place it down there. Let me just answer. And that is that about that. Please and please, if you're watching this video and you feel like you've been saved, or you feel like you wanted to go and do something and you feel like you couldn't take the pain and the stress, and you feel like what I've said so far have helped you, or I've helped you to decide, or I've helped you to really know the kind of questions you can ask during your consultation time, please click on the subscribe button below, and please turn on your notification button. Please and please invite your friends to subscribe to this channel, because they are going to be getting all the juices, and imagine they're going to be getting nice stuff. I don't do basic hair. So bye guys.